The cystic fibrosis community is invited to participate in a series of videos and podcasts on individuals that are living, breathing, succeeding with cystic fibrosis. With the help of today's therapies, cystic fibrosis patients are now living longer and achieving more than ever before. This podcast, Starting a Family, is the third in a series of 12 made possible through an unrestricted educational grant from Genentech to the Boomer Esiason Foundation. A little over a decade ago, marriage and starting a family seemed to be an unthinkable dream for adults with cystic fibrosis. Through advancements in treatment of the disease and being compliant, the dream is now a reality. Over 40% of the CF patients are adults and living, breathing, succeeding. Today you will meet Jenny Davison, who is 39 years old with cystic fibrosis and married to her wonderful husband, Tim, and the proud mother of their 10-year-old daughter, Dara.
Hi, I'm Jenny Davison. I'm 39 years old. I am living, breathing, and succeeding with cystic fibrosis every day. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a nurse, I am a daughter. I'm one of 9 children. And this is me.
Hey, answer the call. No right, no wrong. Repeat the lines from our favorite songs. Make our way up to Prospect Park. I'm talking about the good times. No reason to fight, 'cause family is tight and everything is alright. Because you are.
Making the decision to get married wasn't that difficult for us. My husband and I met when we were very young. We were always together. The next step for us was to get married. It was definitely a thought, because I have cystic fibrosis and I have to, be aware of the risk for me and what my life will be like for him. But I think that he knew me long enough and knew what he was getting into and was willing to take on whatever was going to come our way. So it wasn't that big of a decision to get married.
She lives with cystic fibrosis and she really just goes forward with it, no matter what comes up.
If he had been a positive carrier, we had made the decision we weren't going to have any children. But since he was negative and he had no family history and we knew the risk was slight, we decided to go ahead and roll with it. My FEVs are over 60, and I think that if they were below 40, it would not have been recommended for me to get pregnant. The obstetrician wanted to do an amniocentesis on me while I was pregnant to find out if the child had cystic fibrosis or not. I declined. There is a risk with amniocentesis. There's always a risk of actually losing the pregnancy. The concern about getting pregnant when you have cystic fibrosis is, are you going to be able to sustain a pregnancy and be healthy enough for 9 months, essentially, to carry a child? My daughter, thankful to say, has had 2 sweat tests, and she is negative. The funny thing is I try to keep my distance a little bit when my daughter gets sick to protect myself. It's hard, when you have a child and they don't feel good, they want mommy. Because of the life expectancy with cystic fibrosis, lingering over you at some level, I wanted my daughter to be at an age where if something was to ever happen, she would be able to handle it. So, me getting pregnant by 30, I always thought, I'm going to be well into my 50s and 60s, and I feel that way, and I feel like she would be old enough at that point to handle whatever was going to happen. She's helped me get my medicine. She's gotten my flushes ready for me. She's a good kid. If I can give any advice to somebody that's considering having a child and they have CF, is compliancy. If you're not taking care of yourself, it's going to be very difficult to take care of a child. You need to make sure that you're number one and that you are doing everything that's right for you. You're doing your medications and you're exercising and you're making sure you're in the best possible health. That, you know, to take care of a child, you need to be in the best possible you that you can be. So if your doctor says you're doing everything right and your FEVs are good and feels like you can sustain a pregnancy and handle a child, then I say go for it, because having a daughter and having my family is the most important thing in the world to me, and I would never give it up. And if you can do it, just make sure you're number one and everything else will follow. I would never ever regret my decision to have a child. I think that she has added so much to my life, and that having cystic fibrosis doesn't mean you stop your life. We're going to keep living, and that's what you do. You plug away, and you have a husband, and you have a family, and you have a career, and you do everything that everybody else is going to do. You just have to work that much harder at it.
Knife gun.